Going big on TikTok, I'm sure is everyone's dream. We've got Jake Crossman here today to talk about how people pleasing
Mhm.
no longer shows up in his life because of this big explosion. Jake, it's so great to have you here on Power to the People Pleasers.
Amy, I'm so excited. Thanks for having me.
So I'd love to hear from you. All of the people that listen to this are individuals who resonate with this idea of putting themselves last, saying yes all the time, and we're
Mhm.
empowering all of us, myself included. I'm in recovery of people
Yeah, yeah,
pleasing.
yeah.
We're empowering people to take care of themselves, and so I'd
Mhm.
love to hear from you first. How has people pleasing shown up in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm also in recovery. I mean, when I was a kid, I think my parents did a great job instilling that, like, work hard, do a good job, people will reward that, right? And you kind of like you internalize that and try to work hard and go above and beyond and always saying yes. And I think I was probably 17, 18 when I realized, like, I say yes to a lot. A lot of things, and it's not always reciprocated, right? It's not always, you don't all, if I need help, I don't always get the yes back. And if I, need a day off, I don't always get that yes. I'm expected to work or to do. And I don't know what it was, but I just kind of one day was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to please people and also say no to things.
Mm.
And it was really like, I don't have a clear cut, like, oh, this one thing changed my life, but it's been a long process of, like, figuring out how to still, I want to please people, I want people to like me, but I don't want to do it from a place of uh, not being integrous to myself. So it's still a
Mhm.
long journey, and I'm still trying to figure it out. But yeah, I think we're all recovering, in that
Yes.
in that same sense.
Yes. Well, and I like what you said there about it not being reciprocated.
Hmm.
Jake, that was a big aha moment for me a
Yeah,
few years ago in realizing how deep people pleasing was falling for me. In that
yeah.
I was saying things like, "Well, they didn't they didn't hold up their end of the bargain. I did this for them.
Hmm.
Why aren't they doing something for me?" And the reality is that's not life. It's not true.
Yeah, yeah.
So if I'm not cool with why I'm saying yes, I shouldn't be
Hmm.
saying yes in hopes that someone else is going to reciprocate. That was a big lesson. But I'm pumped to talk with you today,
Yeah, me
Jake.
too.
Certified holistic
Hmm.
nutritionist, changing people's lives. But first, I want to know, you blew up on TikTok.
Yeah.
What happened,
What
man?
happened? Yeah. It's funny. I started, my company is USA Medical. I started it 2 years ago. And the goal, I actually left a career in sports broadcasting. I had a very solid career at Fox Sports and ESPN. I was a crew manager at Fox Sports, and to the point that I actually was the manager at the Super Bowl in 2021. So I was in Miami doing all that. And I loved my career, loved what I did. But COVID hit right after the Super Bowl and changed a lot about how we did sports broadcasting. And it changed a lot about my job in particular as a crew manager. And there was a lot of just extra stress. And in that world, a lot of people were asking me to do things. A lot of people needed help and needed me to do things that weren't necessarily my job. And I'm at this point, I'm 22 years old. So I'm very young and very, hungry to please and to do things. And
Yeah.
it got to the point where I was doing everything I was asked at all times. And then COVID hit and I was laid off, like a lot of other people were. And that was the first time where I was like, oh, wow, I've done so many things and I'm still getting laid off. Okay, got
Yeah.
it. 6 months later, football came back. They called me. We need you back. Okay. Do I have my same team? Do I have the same people? Well, no, it's a smaller department. We're cutting people, but it'll be okay. It'll be okay. All right. So we did 6 months of that. And I mean, I don't want to say that I was working harder than anybody else at Fox, because everybody works super hard at Fox, but we were all working really hard. And, 50, 60, 70, 80-hour weeks sometimes. It got to the point where I was like, this is not for me. I'm stressed. I'm anxious. I'm totally out of my mind. I was like, hey, I need help. I need a team. I need something to help me. And basically the response I got was, oh, actually, you're fired again. Actually, we don't, if you can't do the job, then, not going to have you around. And there was a big conversation, and I don't want to, get too deep into it, but I left. I was just, this isn't for me anymore. I'm out. At the same time, I met somebody who was really into CBD and using CBD to help with anxiety and stress and all these different things. So I tried it. It was amazing for me. I found out that I couldn't really just go buy CBD that was pure and safe. A lot of CBD is like not necessarily lab tested, not necessarily organic. That's a whole other story. So I started the company in order to create a lab certified and organic brand. And from there, what I started doing is just getting on TikTok and being like, can you believe that other companies don't lab test? Can you believe that other companies aren't organic? Can you believe they're and I just kind of did this where I was just,
Yeah.
hey, can you believe this stuff? And hundreds of thousands of people were like, no, we can't believe it, and the following grew of just people being like, wait, why aren't other companies, why aren't other health providers actually doing their job and actually doing the best they can? So that's kind of where the following came from. I'm not, I'm not an expert in, medical care and health care and any of these things. I'm just a guy that loves to read research and talk about it, and just
Mhm.
talking about it is what kind of grew the audience.
Amazing, amazing. You know, something else caught my attention. We had a
Hmm.
brief conversation before recording this, and you shared that, some people may not like me
Hmm.
in your audience.
Yeah.
And that's, I think for some people pleasers, the idea of people not liking them is
Yeah.
a huge cause of anxiety, sometimes cause of challenge, cause of
Yeah.
stress. So tell me about, how does that feel?
Well, TikTok's crazy because, I'll get one video with 30 million views and like I can never read the comments. I can never ever go through 30,000 comments. It's impossible. But then I'll do a video that only gets 5,000 views because it's TikTok, right? The views are weird. So
Mhm.
on a 5,000 view video, I might only get 3 or 4 comments, right? And if those 3 or 4 comments are people that just hate me, I see those comments right away.
Yeah.
So it's like TikTok's a specifically weird place that no matter how popular you are, no matter how big your following is, if you have videos that don't do very well, you only get a few comments and you definitely see those. So I think there's a level of anxiety when I post a video that's like, what if everybody hates this? What if no one likes
Mhm.
this? And then the way that I get over it, and this might just be me, but on one side, if no one likes it and it only gets 5,000 views, well, that's no views. That's nobody. Nobody saw it. So who cares? It's like just erase it and start again. And if it does really well and gets lots of hate comments, well, I have a following that will then kind of comment on the other side and be like, no, he's actually saying good things. And there's the kind
People
of
stand up
argument.
for you.
Exactly. So either way, I'm kind of at peace now posting content.
Mhm.
But there is like and I've seen people talk about when they first get their first viral video or their first thing, there's tons of hate comments. People hate success, right? So if
Mhm.
you are successful, people will hate that. So it's like getting over that first anxious feeling is very tough and very hard to do. So yeah, if you're anybody that is starting to grow, you're gonna have hate, but you got to just be okay with it. Let it hit you and roll off your shoulder.
Well, I think that's an important comment. There's so many people who are like, "Oh, I want the viral
Yeah.
energy," right? But
Hmm.
they don't necessarily know the other side of
Hmm.
what's going to happen when they have that happen for them.
Right.
So I appreciate you being honest about that,
Yeah.
and sharing
Yeah.
the real the real
Right.
story. So as a holistic nutritionist, you
Hmm.
share holistic wellness practices to help
Hmm.
people in their lifestyle.
Hmm.
You know, what would you say are the most common things people are coming to you for these days?
Yeah, the best channel I have with this nutrition coaching is on TikTok. I'll go live, and just
Mhm.
anyone can ask any question
Oh,
while I'm
okay.
live, and we just do question and answer while I'm live. And the one that comes up over and over is sleep and pain. Right? I
Mhm.
can't sleep well, or I'm in pain, and most pain is inflammatory. So we talk about inflammatory pain and sleep a lot.
Mhm.
As far as sleep goes, nobody really is ever taught how to sleep. Right? We just kind of think we're supposed to sleep when we're tired, and that's kind of it. Sleep is actually pretty difficult, to do properly and to do it, every day the correct way. So what I say is let's simplify, what this, REM sleep and deep sleep and all these different
Mhm.
sleep stages and sleep health, let's simplify it, right? The two big things for sleep are you need magnesium for your body to enter deep sleep, and you need an amino acid called L-glycine to enter REM sleep. Those are pretty important, magnesium and L-glycine. So what we do is we've always had a supplement called magnesium glycinate, which is just magnesium plus glycine, no fillers, nothing else. It's just the organic, stuff from the earth. And that's what we usually promote to help people sleep to start with. A lot of times, if you're low on magnesium or you don't have the glycine, you're not going to enter deep sleep and REM sleep properly. So always start there. And then as far as sleep stages go, having like a routine of when you go to bed and when you wake up every day, that's really powerful for like melatonin production. Your body doesn't know when to start producing melatonin unless you are on a schedule, So schedules are really helpful. All this is really helpful. But that's kind of the short answer for sleep. For pain, the inflammation stuff is always huge. I say anti-inflammatory foods like salmon, like berries, olive oil, healthy fat like olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil. All these things are good for reducing inflammation. There are plants like turmeric and ashwagandha, hemp and CBG. So lots of conversation there. But yeah, inflammation and sleep are the two things that everybody's struggling with.
Yes. And so we follow you around a day in the life of Jake, and you get amazing sleep and you eat amazing food.
Sometimes I try my absolute best, and it's even as a health coach, I know all the correct things, but I'm also still a human. So it's like I still mess up and I still get bad sleep here and there. But I've always worn this Oura ring. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
This is kind of just how I make sure, okay, if I have a bad sleep score today, I really have to be serious about like doing the right things. Whereas if I have a good score, I try to be a little more relaxed with my life. So I really do use data to make sure that I'm like staying on track with what I say I'm supposed to be doing.
I really like that actually, because so often when people aren't tracking, that's the beautiful thing about technology being able to track, right? For us, when people aren't tracking, they don't notice when things have helped them feel better.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. I see that with my clients as well. Yeah. And so having a tool that can help track sleep or help track what they're eating or these pieces to take the pressure off remembering
right. Yes.
what they've done well. Well, I don't really remember what I ate yesterday.
Yes.
Well, that's not very helpful if we're trying to help you feel better, right? So
totally.
That's very cool. So you use the ring. Cool. Do you use any other tracking support?
Whenever I do health coaching, I always ask my clients for the first 2 weeks to do MyFitnessPal tracking. And I don't ask for it for forever. But the point is, like you said, when somebody is forced to track their habits, they actually make their habits better. Like when they, like every time, I don't have to do any work. I say, hey, just track your eating. And all of a sudden they're eating healthier. It's like when you just see, oh my gosh, I ate 3 donuts and 2 coffees for breakfast. It's like, why am I doing that? It's horrible for me. So tracking and data is so helpful, and I'm happy that you mentioned that. So yeah, MyFitnessPal. I have a water tracking app that I will use sometimes. It's all these apps. I'm trying to see what it's called. All these apps are annoying to try to remember to track and stuff, but getting in the habit of tracking is great. I don't know what it's called. It's like water something, but the point is that My Water is what it's called. If you want to,
that's easy.
A water app, yeah. But it's cool. You just add glasses of water, and because it's like, again, how do you know if you're drinking enough water or eating enough protein or eating enough carbs? You don't know. You literally don't know until you track it and see if you're doing it. So track things for 2 weeks and see where your habits are.
And I love the idea that what you said exactly, people start to make natural shifts just from having to write it down. But also it's interesting from when I think about the people pleaser aspect, people don't want to show always all of the negatives. So they improve just because they've got to show it to someone else, right? That accountability to another human is where coaching really makes a difference, right? And having a nutritionist work with you really makes a difference because you got to show what you're
100%. That's, as I didn't know, when I was starting to become a coach, right? I had all my certifications. I have all the things that I've learned in school. Now to be a coach, I'm like, okay, I got to like have plans and things and all and what I learned is like, you're right. No, it's just having somebody that someone else is accountable to, that is the coaching. That is what the most valuable part of coaching is the accountability. And, like you said, it's funny when you're tracking things, it's just, you immediately want to improve. You immediately want to improve. So if you don't want to pay for a coach or have a coach in your life, just track things, you know?
Start there.
Exactly. Write down your water intake, write down your food intake. You will be way healthier just from doing that.
I absolutely agree with you. So, you know, if I were to go to TikTok right
Mhm.
now, what is the video that you are the most pumped that you made, that you feel the most proud of?
That's a funny question.
Mhm.
Because part of part of this whole thing is that TikTok is really a crapshoot. There's no like, there's no,
Way to be
it's like,
honest.
yeah. I mean, I have friends who are mega influencers, and even they will have flop videos. A video
Yeah.
that gets 100 views, 1,000 views. So it's like, it's weird that a lot of times I'm making content that I think people will want to watch.
Mm.
Um, so I'm not always super proud of that content. It's like I'm just making what I think people want to watch. The
Yeah.
stuff that I'm really proud of and that I make usually doesn't get any views. So
Isn't
like,
that funny?
yeah, it's just like being, the word influencer sucks, but being an influencer, your job is to think about what the audience wants, not about what I want. So it's like the ones I'm most proud of are the ones that are like really informative and really like,
Mhm.
explain CBG and explain ashwagandha and turmeric. And,
Mhm.
I put in B-roll and great captions and it looks great. But then the video that does well is me being like, play with your fingers and increase your brain. It's like the stupid ones do well. So yeah, it's hard to answer that question, but the one that did the best views was my magnesium video that
Mm.
I said, hey, if you want to sleep better, take magnesium before bed. That did 36 million views. So that one was like
Wild. Wild.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Isn't that wild? Well, you know what I like about that though? It's this, well, number one, you mentioned the word influencer. We're all influencers,
Right.
right? Every moment, every choice,
Yeah.
every time we're out to dinner with our friends, we are influencing the
You're
behaviors
totally
of all
right.
the other people, right?
Yeah.
Um, Social media just gives us that opportunity to influence people that maybe wouldn't be around our dinner table.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I really like what you said on there's content, there's different types of content that
Hmm.
you're making that you really enjoy and you like. Whether it goes viral or not is a
Right.
different uh, beast, really. But the energy of which you were sharing about your one that you really enjoyed, I think
Yeah.
there's something there.
Yeah.
When we talk about being a people pleaser, there's also that energy of okay, creating so that you get the views, so you get
Hmm.
the reach versus feeling aligned to the message you
Yeah.
want to share. Very
Right.
interesting.
Yeah, and it's also like, if you want to be an influencer, if you want to be a content creator, I think
Mhm.
there's a certain like assumption that, oh, like you just create content that you want to create and then someone will love it and you become famous. That really isn't what it is, right? It really is create all the content that you want to create and then figure out what people like to watch. Because like I said, I know the videos that are going to perform well. I know when it's a video that like people are going to want to watch. And it's like, that is my job. That is the job of the influencer, of the social media content
Mm,
creator, is to make what people want to watch. So it is like a bit of you don't get to make things that you just want to do. The people
yeah.
that are mega famous, you think of like DiCaprio or like, Jennifer Aniston, they can post themselves doing anything. People are going to watch it, right? Because they're
Yes.
mega famous. I'm not mega famous. You're not mega famous. No one's
No.
mega famous, right? So I have to post the content that people want to see me doing, not just
Yeah.
on my walk.
Yeah, for sure. So would you say a lot of the people that you're helping are
Mhm.
coming from your TikTok
Oh yeah,
videos?
100%. It's probably
Awesome.
100%. Yeah. I mean,
Awesome.
we have a small audience on Instagram, but a lot of Instagram comes from TikTok. We
Mhm.
have a small audience on YouTube, and that's kind of separate, but that's a small audience. But
Mhm.
yeah, TikTok is the blood of everything.
Amazing. So, as we wrap up today, w- thinking about these individuals who put
Yeah.
themselves last, what's the message that you would give to those people?
You know, I'm going to zoom out for a second because when it comes
Mhm.
to anything in life, like whether you want to start a business or, do whatever you want to do, first thing you gotta do is have a plan, right? How you're gonna do it, what
Mhm.
you're gonna do for it. But then the second thing that no one talks about is the emotional resilience that's required throughout that plan, right? Because every single day, if something goes wrong or right, your emotions change, and then you wanna change the plan based on your current emotional state, right? A
Yeah.
lot of times if I make a video and it does poorly, I don't wanna post any more videos that day. I like pout and I'm like, "Mm," you know, "Mm."
There's
no
the
one watched
truth.
my video, and it's like, no, like that's the ridiculous emotional reaction, right?
Mm.
Lower your emotional reactivity, gain emotional resilience, and just stick to what you know is right. And a lot of times, what's right at all times, but it's your emotions that change. Like, well, maybe actually I should change it and do something different. No, just stick to the plan and stick to what you know is right. So for the people that are, that are people pleasers and need help saying no or need help with this, I would just say stay as emotionally level as possible.
Mm.
Don't allow those moments of extreme excitement or extreme turmoil to affect how you look at the world and how you look at what you're trying to accomplish.
I love that. I love that. And I call it staying even keel, right?
Yeah.
So there's this,
Yeah.
you can have
Mm-hmm.
the ride the wave all the way to the
Yeah.
top or all the way to the bottom, or aim. That's the key word there. Aim. As possible,
Yeah,
as much as possible
absolutely.
to be in the
Because it's so
even
much
keel.
better too. Like, we think of the high highs being what we want, but like,
Mhm.
no, isn't it better if every single day is just good? If like the
Mhm.
days are just good and you have good days, like these highs
Yeah.
and lows are not what we should be striving for,
Yes. Yes. So how would you like people to reach out to you then?
Well,
What?
actually, my business cell phone number is on my website. I let anyone can text it at any point. I get texts every day, just questions about health, questions about nutrition, questions about things I offer. So if you want to just text me, you can always do that. The website is usamedicalshop.com, and then like you said on TikTok at USA Medical, you can like DM on TikTok now, so you can DM me, comment, share, do whatever you want. But yeah, pretty easy to find me.
I love it. Awesome. Well, Jake, it was so awesome to meet you. And I
Yeah.
love that you are sharing these beautiful approaches to help people
Thank
achieve
you.
optimal wellness in their life. And you're doing it in a way that is catching people's attention. I've been sharing wellness for 14 years,
Yeah.
and it's awesome to connect with someone who is, reaching people on social media in such a awesome way. So thank you.
Well, likewise. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I want to wrap this show up and thank everyone for watching, for listening. This has been Power to the People Pleasers. Stay tuned for the next episode. Have a great day.